41, Public Law 1975.
Call.
Councilpersons Balca.
Here.
Parisi.
Here.
Novak.
Here.
Roberts.
Here.
Sinarski.
Here.
Zabrowski.
Can I get a motion to approve prior minutes?
So moved.
Second,
Second.
roll call.
Councilpersons Novak.
Yes.
Balca.
Abstain.
Khaleesi. Roberts.
Yes.
Sinarski.
Yes.
Zabrowski.
Okay, today we have a presentation from the Rotary Club for their raising money for the car show. We have Eloy Fernandez. Did I say your last name right? Okay. Eloy, Eloy, you want to tell us a little bit about your presentation and who you have here today?
Thank you, Madam President. Good evening, Madam President, members of the council, Business Administrator Skarzinski, and our community leaders here tonight. On behalf of the Sayreville South Amboy Rotary Club, it is truly my honor to present this to Stars and Stripes of the American Legion of South Amboy Post 62. These funds were raised during our recent first annual Rotary Car Show, a day filled with incredible cars, live music, great food, and most importantly, a united community coming together to support those who have given so much to us, our veterans. This event was held to support a very special project right next door in South Amboy. This project is thanks to the incredible leadership of Joe Sharo. I know I said that wrong. I'm not going to make it out of here today. His wife, Bob Moglia, Bill McQuaid, and his entire team, who's too many names to mention here today. This initiative will provide not just housing, but critical on-site services for our most at-risk veterans, men and women who sacrificed their bodies, their youth, their careers, their families, and even their mental health, so that the rest of us could live free and safe. Let us always remember those who never made it home, but let us also never forget those who did, who now carry both visible and invisible wounds. They embody the true definition of a hero, someone who sacrifices for the people they may never meet. This project ensures our heroes receive the dignity, respect, and support they deserve. And as much as I'd like to tell you about this project, because I'm so passionate about it, there's clearly someone here who can speak much better about it. I'd like to ask Joe to come up and tell us a little bit about this project.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. How are you doing? Our project, we will be building 5 units for at-risk veterans in South Amboy, along with our post, rebuilding our post after Superstorm Sandy destroyed it. We have South Amboy Planning Board approval. We signed the contract with a builder, so we're in the process of that. We are slowly moving forward with this. The number one thing we need is funds and support from people and organizations, and the South Amboy Sayreville Rotary Club is one of those organizations that has been financially supporting us. Other organizations have been the AOH, the Elks, other private organizations, but the main thing that us veterans need are funds. With great organizations like this, we will achieve our goal, and we are going to do this. Not only is our building going to be for at-risk veterans, but it will also be open to be used for the community. Underneath it, it will be elevated, so if other organizations, because we support the Boy Scouts and the Eagle Scouts, they'll be able to hold their meetings there. We support a baseball team. We will be able to host them there for hot dogs and soda. So it's just not a one-way street with this building. We're also going to be giving it back to the community once we get it built. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe, and more importantly, thank you and all your members here for your service. I'd like to thank a number of people who helped make this possible. This event would not have been possible without Mayor O'Brien. Thank you for your tireless dedication to our veterans and for your constant support to our Rotary Club, and your leadership has been invaluable. I know he couldn't be here today, but please give him my thanks. Councilman Balca and Councilman Zabrowski, thank you for being consistent supporters of our veterans and our community. And Councilman Zabrowski, I know your son serves. Please thank him for his incredible sacrifice and to your family. Councilman Stash Sarnitsky, apologize, and Councilwoman Novak. Your passion for supporting our service members goes beyond duty. It's a calling for you. From the bottom of my heart, I thank you both. Every time you've always stepped up. You both, entire council have been incredible, but both of you have been particularly passionate about our veterans, and I wanted to thank you for that. Council President Donna Roberts and Councilman Calisi, you worked countless hours preparing for this event. You spent 12 hours in the burning hot sun on that day, and your dedication was unmatched. To the best business administrator in the state of New Jersey, Glenn Skarzinski, and a proud Rotarian. Your guidance, your support, and help made this event a true success. To our community partners, Rich Popowski, Eddie Grilla from the Parks Department for their incredible work, Fire Marshal Kevin Krasinski, our EMS, our police, our fire department for helping keeping everyone safe. A big thank you to the Saraville VFW, Commander Stanley Problowski, Commander Danny Vardelis, Joanne, and Debbie. They graciously donated their facilities and their time to help us. Like true veterans, even though they were a different organization, they stood together without hesitation. As soon as we mentioned this to them, they were happy to join and help and donate in every way they could. They couldn't be here today, but I want everybody to know the great support they give. To the American Legion Post 211 and 262, to Commander Bloom, and to Commander Bishop, and to all the members who stood shoulder to shoulder with us in this event and gave great support. Thank you. To our youth volunteers, our scouts, Kira, Abigail, Ben, Gabby, Rachel, and Sophia, you worked tirelessly all day. And thank you to our troop leaders, Catherine Folrero, Gina Malero, and her husband for showing the next generation true meaning of service. Thank you. To Chad Simon from Ice Cream Monster and Wild Bill for joining forces with us in this event. Scott Mox for donating the trophies. To Lisa Grover, who stepped up without hesitation, not only in this event, but in everything we do, in our Flags for Heroes, in all our events. She's always there, support us. She's been amazing, does all the hard work, and has been a great mentor to me. So thank you. To all the local bands who donated their time and music and sound to making this a memorable event, including Cully Bryce, Ron Knoll, Springwood, Electric Luau, Sheena and the Wolfpack, and my good friend John Walsh. Joe Schager and his wife for some great food that day. To my fellow Rotarians, a deep gratitude for all their work they did. Mary Savinsky from Heavenly House Cleaning. I wouldn't have anyone else clean my house. Thank you, Mary. Councilman Mike Calisi. John Desfano from Remax Realty. Rocco Kukla from Krajava Funeral Home. South Amboy Councilman Anthony Conrad. Head over heels and Amanda DeStefano have always been there to support us and been great Rotarians and did a great job in this event. Chris Cuneo, my good friend and fellow Rotarian, for all your hard work, vision, and shaping this into a unique horror-themed car show. Paulie Soto, I got to give you a big thank you. You joined our club and you had a trial by fire. You hit the ground running on your first day and haven't stopped since. Thank you. To my other Rotarians, Mike Pohl, Greg Wazowski, Maribel Aquino, Alan Katz, and all my other members. Thank you for your hard work. And a very special thank you to our adopted Rotarian and a true friend of mine and founder of the Patriotic Flags of Saraville, Fred Block. He couldn't be here today, but Fred, your immeasurable hard work and dedication, not only on the day of the event, but leading up to the event, you planned every detail and made sure everything went off without a hitch. This event couldn't have been possible without you. Now I'd like to ask our Girl Scouts to come up and present the check to our Legion. I ask that Council President Roberts and Councilman Calisi, since you were a part of the event, I ask that you come down and join us along with everyone else who was part of the event.
You do it right up front here.
Yeah, I guess. I'm rearranging the fund.
Get a little bit closer, everybody. A little bit closer. Thank you. There, eyes open, everybody. Thank you so much. Oh. Everybody good? Okay.
Sure, absolutely.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Also want to thank Albert Rios, who gave us tremendous help that day. Should have been up in the picture here with us, Albert. In closing, I'm just going to say these last words. As a child, as a child of immigrants who fled oppression, these words stood out to me even as a little kid from our former President Reagan. Freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. It must be fought for, protected, and handed on for them to do the same. Tonight, with this donation, we honor that fight and recommit ourselves to protecting those who once protected us. Thank you. Thank all of you for your service. God bless our veterans and our diverse community, and God bless the United States of America. Thank you.
Hey, I do want to thank the Rotary and all the good work you're doing and how you've really brought the community together. It's a wonderful thing. And to the Girl Scouts, once again, thank you for helping with the tickets. They did a great job helping with the 50/50 tickets. We had people sign their name on the first ticket and they repeated it on all the tickets so people can go and enjoy the rest of the event. So thank you so much. Okay. So at this time, we have a need for exec.
Whereas Section 8 of the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 31, Public Law 1975 permits exclusion of the public from a meeting in certain circumstances, and whereas this public body is of the opinion that such circumstances presently exist, now therefore it be resolved by the Mayor and Borough Council of the Borough of Saraville, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey as follows. The public portion of this meeting is hereby adjourned in order that the governing body may meet in closed private session for approximately 5 to 10 minutes to discuss the following matters: attorney-client privilege, litigation, bus depot. Following the conclusion of said closed session, the governing body shall reconvene the open portion of this public meeting to consider any other matters which may be properly brought before it at this time. The nature and content of the discussion which occurs in closed session shall be made public at such time as the need for non-disclosure no longer exists. This resolution shall take effect immediately.
Move the resolution be approved and roll call vote.
Second.
Councilpersons Novak,
Yes.
Valka,
Yes.
Palisi, Roberts,
Yes.
Sinarski.
Yes.
Zabrowski.
Yes.
I just want to remind at this time, being that the Board of Ed is my employer, I'm going to have to recuse myself from this meeting. Thank you.
Need a motion to reconvene?
Second.
Councilpersons Novak,
Yes.
Valka,
Yes.
Palisi. Roberts.
Yes.
Sinarski.
Yes.
Zarowski. All right, public hearing on the following.
Just
Go ahead.
before we go to public hearings, I do want to upfront get a couple of updates on things. I know we have the firehouse later on the agenda, but Jay, would you mind giving us an update on that?
Receiving bids tomorrow for the environmental remediation portion of the project, so recommending you award a contract at your next meeting.
Okay, I'll probably ask you to do it again at the proper time, so.
What exactly are they going to remediate? Just,
All the environmental contamination in the building, asbestos, tiles, caulking, ceiling tiles, anything that is a potential problem. They're basically going to take the building down to the studs. And then it'll be up to the architect to develop plans for future.
is the roof still leaking?
I'm not aware of the roof. We're not.
I'm just
Roof
wondering.
leaking is not part of the environmental remediation. That would be as part of the next phase.
Just the roof's leaking, couldn't we have mold? I mean, if it was my house, I'd fix the leaky roof before I moved. You're just gonna get more mold. Sorry. No, I was just questioning if the roof is leaking at all. We could just be causing, if we don't fix that before we fix everything inside, we could be damaging the work inside.
So Jay, I would assume part of
just-
the environmental would be to look at things like that and give us a recommendation.
Not necessarily the roof. Your next phase is going to be what you're physically going to do with the building after the contamination's been resolved. The architect will be looking at the roof and make recommendations for upgrading that if necessary and whatever other improvements he's going to recommend for the interior of the building.
Okay. Thank you. Any other comments before I move on? Okay, the next update I'd like to get is on our elevator.
The contractor has acquired the necessary permits from the state, and we're waiting for a start date for the work to begin.
Have the parts, Glenn, finally?
It's a complete rebuild. The whole thing is going to be gutted out and redone. That building, that elevator was installed in 1984, so everything in there is out of date. So maybe minus the rails that it travels on, everything in there will get replaced.
And any problems, with cleaning up, the height?
No, that's all part, they have to clean all of that as well.
Thank you.
And the final update I'd like up front is I know that we went to Yulner Avenue to take care of some things. Can you go over that?
Yeah, the day after the last meeting, I went out in the morning and I walked Yulner Street, saw a lot of the residents that were here. A few of the things that they pointed out that are contributing to the issues there were addressed this week by DPW, the hump at the end of the road. We examined the existing stormwater system. That was found to be clear. We'll be meeting either late this week or early next week with South Amboy in order to walk that swale and see if there's any improvements that could be done to give them some relief. And I hope in the next couple of meetings to be in a position to perhaps authorize the engineer to start developing plans and specs for that project.
On that same path, for those people who are experiencing all the floods, Blue Acres only addresses the floodplain. Is there any way we can petition the legislators to accept those types of situations to be part of the Blue Acres program, should any homeowner wish to take advantage of that?
I don't think so, because it's not because of a storm or a natural body of water or tidal lands, but we can certainly look into it, but I would think not.
So-
This, I don't think so.
Okay, I'm going to ask our attorney if you could look into those properties to be included in Blue Acres, so that for those who do want to take advantage of something, a program like that, it would be available to them. Do I need a motion for that or a?
So I want to make sure I'm clear on what the question is whether or not we can designate those properties or that area in Elmer Street as Blue Acres, so they could take advantage of any
For the flooding
granting
situation,
and flooding.
for the flooding situation they are experiencing, can Blue Acres be an option for them?
Yeah, I agree. I don't think so, but I mean, it's something I can look into. I don't know off the top of my head, but it doesn't seem
Okay,
likely. But I I can't say with absolute definite, the answer is no. I just don't think it will.
Okay, well, if you would please pursue that avenue and we'll have an answer one way or another.
Okay, yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, yes, thank you, Jessica.
Public hearing on the following ordinance number 23-25, and ordinance supplementing and amending ordinance number 2-24, fixing the salaries of certain borough officials, officers, and employees for the years 2023 to 2027.
Councilman Balka?
We have to open it to the public.
Oh, I'm sorry. Please open that to the public. Do we get a motion?
Oh, we don't need
We
any,
don't need that? Okay.
no.
Is there anyone from the public who would like to comment? Seeing no one?
I move the public hearing be closed, the ordinance adopted on the second and final reading and advertised according to law.
Second.
Councilpersons Balka,
Yes.
Delisi,
Yes.
Novak,
Yes.
Roberts,
Yes.
Sinarski,
Yes.
Zabrowski.
Appointments for tonight?
Okay, just make an statement that I received the resolution from the Saraville Planning Board following a meeting on August 20th, recommending block 446, lots 2.01 and 2.02, block 445, lots 1.01, 1.02, 1.03, 2.03, 2.04, 3.01, 4.03, 4.04, 4.05, 4.06, 5.03, and 5.04, block 449.07, lots 1.01, 2.01, and 3.01 be designated as an area in need of redevelopment.
Is there any action we need to take on that?
No, we have a resolution. Yep.
Before we go to opening the public to resolutions, what I would like to do is introduce a resolution from,
We're gonna do the ordinance first.
we have to do the ordinance first?
Yeah.
Okay,
We're not on resolution. All right.
sorry.
Introduction of the following ordinance 24-25, an ordinance supplementing and amending section 13-4.3 of the revised general ordinances of the Borough of Saraville, receptacle for municipal solid waste.
I move the ordinance be approved on first reading, advertised according to law for a public hearing to be held on September 23rd prevailing time.
22nd.
Okay, it says
Yep.
23rd.
It is the 20, okay, sorry. Forgot about that, the holiday. You second?
John?
On second.
Okay, sorry. Novak,
Yes.
Balka,
Yes.
Colisi,
Yes.
Roberts,
Yes.
Sinarski,
Yes.
Zabrowski.
Yes.
All right. Before we go to the resolutions, I do want to introduce, everyone did get the Environmental Commission meetings for September 2nd. And what I had done is I had provided them with an ERI sample, which is an environmental resource inventory. And they have a resolution that they would like to move forward with that. I'd like to read that here. An environmental resource inventory, ERI, from another community was shared with the commission members for review. The purpose is to evaluate the feasibility of creating a similar document for Saraville. Such an ERI could serve as a valuable asset for community planning, future development projects, and an informational resource for our municipality. A motion was made that the committee formally request the council to authorize the development of an environmental resource inventory, ERI, for our municipality. This inventory will provide a comprehensive, science-based reference of all our natural resources such as wetlands, forests, waterways, wildlife habitats, and environmentally sensitive areas to guide informed decision-making for planning, zoning, conservation, and sustainability initiatives. The motion was made by Shirley and seconded by Christina, all in favor. I would like to make a motion that we authorize our existing professionals to complete an ERI for Saraville for an amount no greater than $15,500. Do I get a second?
And
It's going to be.
Jessica, just so what we'll do is, this is not one that was written, so this will be an oral vote, but we'll put the written resolution on for the agenda for the following meeting. Yes.
Okay. Councilpersons Roberts,
Yes.
Balka,
Yes.
Colisi,
Yes.
Novak,
Yes.
Sinarski,
Yes.
Zabrowski.
Yes.
All right, now you can open it.
All right. Now, I'd like to open the public portion. Do I need a motion? Nope. I open the public portion for our resolutions only. Is there anyone in the public that would like to speak about any of the resolutions? Seeing none? We can close the public.
Second.
Motion to close, second, and adopt.
Zabrowski. Falca. Yeah, go ahead.
Comment on 2025-211. You'll notice if you read this resolution, there's a synopsis that goes along with this resolution. And there's a reason for that. And actually, we probably should do that more often with some of our ordinances as well. As Mr. Sordillo, you did a terrific job doing it, but the actual language of the resolution is as convoluted and complicated as what affordable housing really is. So Joe did a great job of putting together a brief synopsis, which I think in regular language, which we all understand, to know what the battle is and why we're moving this battle forward. And secondary, part of that briefing and that resolution is a call to action, not a call to action to simply of our borough, but a call to action to all our neighboring boroughs, towns, cities, villages, et cetera, to join on, understanding that this is a huge issue that needs to be addressed on a bipartisan way to get this moving forward. So yes to all, and thank you for allowing me to make a comment.
Falca.
Okay, I'm abstaining on 2025-210, the Adelex bill. It's PO 205-04827. And then a question on 2025-217. Is that related to the affordable housing round 4? Or is it something on its own?
We're related to, it's twofold. It's the actual presentation was for the actual area for redevelopment. It happens that that area is also within our housing element, but the hearing in front of the planning board was actually for area redevelopment.
Okay, same area, but not necessarily, you don't need this for the housing plan per se.
Housing plan is
Standalone.
Yes and no, and I'm sorry to say that, but it's true. This is a mechanism where we could implement the housing plan if the borough so chooses to. The area of redevelopment is a mechanism that's allowed for municipalities for any type of development. If the area meets the criteria set forth in the redevelopment law, then it could be declared an area in need of redevelopment and or rehabilitation, the two different ways of handling it. And at that point, you can adopt a redevelopment plan, which then sets forth new, basically overlay zoning that allows you to develop the various properties that are included in there. So that portion, from what I understand, has not been prepared yet. That's what part of this resolution does, is it declares the area in need of redevelopment, sending it to the DCA to get their approval, because it needs DCA to approval to make sure that it actually does meet the criteria, and then sending it to Sarah to actually look to see what they would suggest a redevelopment plan to be. So it could, when it comes back to us from Sarah, could have some portions of that being for affordable housing, or maybe it doesn't. Maybe after they look at that, it turns out that they say, this is what we suggest. But ultimately, any final decision is left with this governing body. This governing body is the one that actually adopts the redevelopment plan for what that would actually end up being. And you could, after this, doesn't even mean you have to. There could be no decision where you just realize we don't agree with Sarah, or we have different ideas, and it goes back and forth for some time where you don't actually have a redevelopment plan ever adopted, or at least anytime soon. But this is just the first step in that process to allow you to do so. And that gives you that power to overlay zone, gives you power to do other authorities that you can do under redevelopment that you can't do under regular zoning. And so that's what, that's the process that's before you this evening. So that's why I said yes or no. Your vote today doesn't say, yes, that's going to be an affordable housing site, but it is allowed to go that section, and it could be.
Okay. So yes on everything but the one exception, the one abstain. Yep.
Okay.
And Madam Chair, if I may also, just to point out, this is also specifically for a non-condemnation. When you go under redevelopment for designations, and I say recently, but it was probably almost 15 years now, they amended the redevelopment law where a municipality has to identify whether or not they intend to utilize condemnation as part of the redevelopment process. That's one of the powers you can utilize under redevelopment. But you have to identify that right from the start. So the fact that this is specifically for non-condemnation means you cannot utilize condemnation. Even if you change your mind down the road, you'd have to start the whole process over again, meaning going back to the very beginning and having a whole nother planning board hearing. So just want to clarify, this resolution right here and this whole process has been for non-condemnation.
Thank you.
Yes.
Novak.
One question, have we deducted anything for the JCP&L bill for the lights that are still out?
No.
Okay, so I'm going to be abstaining on that part of the bill list. And I'll be writing no on 217 and yes on everything else.
Roberts.
For JCP&L, can you give a little update on what has been accomplished?
We've got, Andy from the mayor's staff goes out 2 to 3 nights a week. He's got a relationship with the new area representative. We've been knocking out about 24 lights a week. Those that are overground are getting done much more rapidly. Those that are underground wiring require Jersey Central to go out to bid to get a contractor to do that. In particular, Sheffield Muse. We expect in the next couple of weeks that to be done, but we've made pretty good progress with the lights.
Yes.
Sinarski.
Yes.
Motion to accept the correspondence.
So moved.
Second.
Councilpersons Novak. Balka.
Yes.
Halisi.
Yes.
Roberts. Sinarski.
Yes.
Zabrowski.
Yes.
And now on to our mayor and council reports. Councilman Belka.
Thank you, Council President. Just progress.
Thank you. And now planning and zoning, Councilman Zabrowski.
Thank you, Council President. Just a couple of things. Just to follow up on JCP&L, Glenn, I also believe I don't see that temporary or portable substation there anymore. I don't see it. I don't hear it. So I'm assuming that.
Repairs have been completed and the temporary machine has been removed.
Good, I appreciate that. I still would like them to provide me with the response to the 10 questions that I submitted back in January to Tina, who's no longer with us, and now Jose, who is with us, but we haven't seen yet, if that's okay
We'll
as
have
well.
Andy get cracking on that tomorrow.
I'd appreciate that. Many thanks also to all our staff, to members of our committees, as well as the volunteers. And I'm not going to speak to it because I think you will, but the fall calendar is filled with activities for our community and very diverse things. It is, I'm going to tell you, just about every day, every weekend, there's something available. And I'm quite excited about the Halloween Scare Trail that's coming up. So if you're a volunteer, please get involved in that. Also, just do me a favor as well. As you know, school is now open. So if you are traveling during those time periods, do me a favor, use a little patience and go a little early. We want to make sure our students and children make their way back from home, make their way to home, to school, and back again. So I'd appreciate it. And finally, normally September, I always do the PSA for our volunteers, for the emergency services. Do me a favor. If you really want to do something that's life-changing for yourself as a volunteer, get involved with our police auxiliary, our fire departments, emergency services, and our CERT teams. You really will find that very gratifying, and you will be helping out your borough a great deal. Council President, that's my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Now, Councilman Khaleesi, I'm sorry, I think we stepped on your toes on a couple of these questions.
Good evening, everyone. My first report this evening is from Police Chief Plumacher. As similar to our ex-chief Zabrowski has said, he mentioned, as summer winds down and a new school year begins, the Saraville Police Department is reminding us all to stay alert, drive carefully, and help keep our children safe. With students once again at the bus stops early in the morning, school buses and back on the roads, and young drivers heading to class. Traffic patterns are changing. That back-to-school rush takes some adjusting, and it calls for extra patience and awareness behind the wheel. So here are a few key reminders he gave, which is watch for the kids at the bus stops, especially during early morning hours when visibility is low. Obey all school bus laws When a bus has its red lights on, flashing, and the stop arm is out, the traffic in both directions must come to a full stop. Slow down in school zones and keep an eye out for crossing guards, students, and parents on foot. Be patient with new drivers. Many high schoolers are just starting out behind the wheel. And more importantly, avoid distractions. Put that phone down and keep your focus on the road. A few extra seconds of caution can make all the difference. Let's work together to help ensure this school year starts safely for all our students. The second report comes from Director Chris Bardley of the Saraville Office of Emergency Management. So I'd like to begin by congratulating Director Bardsley and Deputy Director Vincent Buffalino on their recent reappointments to their positions within the Saraville Office of Emergency Management. I want to personally thank both of them for their continued service and dedication to the safety and preparedness of our community. Director Bardsley has provided the following. The Office of Emergency Management is currently working on hazard mitigation plan. The update is required by the state of New Jersey. This plan is essential to identifying and reducing risks from natural and man-made hazards across the community. In addition, OEM is preparing to launch a digital mapping project for the borough. This initiative will give our first responders more accurate and detailed information about locations throughout Saraville, which will significantly enhance response times and situational awareness during emergencies. And lastly, our department is also, OEM is also getting ready to participate in several upcoming community events, such as John brought about, throughout the month of September and October. So continuing OEM's commitment to public engagement and preparedness education. So to conclude my public safety updates this evening, I'd like to note that Fire Chief George Gavin had reported progress. And that's a standard indication that while the department has been actively engaged, there's no formal written update at this time due to operational demands. So this Thursday through Sunday is the Firemen's Convention down in Wildwood. Many of our firefighters will be there, but he assured everyone that the staff that's here for this weekend is more than capable and ready to work. So in reviewing all reports from our public safety departments, including Chief Gavin, Police Chief Dan Plumacher, and OEM Director Chris Bardsley, each one concluded with gratitude for the borough's continued support. So I'd like to take this opportunity to echo that appreciation and sincerely thank each of these leaders, along with their teams, for the vital work they do every day. Thanks, Kyle. Much of their service happens behind the scenes, but it plays a critical role in keeping Saraville safe, prepared, and strong. So thank you to all our public safety personnel for your continued dedication to this community. And that's all I have for this evening.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilwoman Novak, Public Works.
Okay. First, I'll start with a report from Elise. The new recycling carts have been successfully distributed to the majority of eligible households. Recycling is now more convenient for our residents thanks to the cart's larger capacity and easy to roll on wheels. Resident feedback. Many residents have shared how much they appreciate these carts over the old open carts. Excuse me, I lost my place here. The new carts keep recyclables contained, protect them from the wind, which has always been one of the big issues in Saraville. The weather, protecting it from and looking much neater along the street on collection day. There is already a noticeable difference with less litter on the streets from spills, and several people have commented on how uniform and tidy the streets appear compared to before. Education and outreach. We hope to see an increase in recycling participation as many more residents begin using the carts. We are still actively working on educating the community about recycling right, including which items can and cannot go into the cart and the importance of following the guidelines to keep recycling loads clean and efficient. The key takeaway and looking ahead, this rollout seems to be meeting operational goals, improving service efficiency, and some of our early indicators suggest an increase in recycling participation. I, for one, have noticed that myself. It's amazing how people would just have a small container out and now they have the big container and it's full. So that means they're finding it easier. You know, before when the little can was full, they just started to throw out the recyclables. So more people are recycling more. There have been some people that are uncomfortable with cutting their cardboard very small to put in there. They're used to being able to pile it next to the cart. Please, it is possible to do it. And if all else fails, if you really can't get it into you can bring that to the recycling center every Monday through Friday. So there's no reason, to have a real problem with this. Let's see, and I also would like to thank the Bahamas Beyond Cafe and Roy for helping keeping the public informed on just how much the can holds and how easy it is to manipulate. I just want to remind everybody, Sayreville Day is on the 21st of September, and it's really one of the nicest days of the year. Hopefully God will be good with the weather, but even if the weather is a little overcast, it's always a great day. At the last meeting, I spoke about auxiliary, and was it possible to, like with the first aid and fire, where we have breaks on permits and licenses and perhaps even LoSAP, if we could offer this to the auxiliary? Did we find out anything about that?
Simply have to amend the ordinance to include them.
Because LoSAP is kind of like under state thing, we could still do that though? I'm asking you, I don't know. It's length of service award.
Right, no, I know LoSAP. I'm not sure off the top of my head whether the auxiliary would qualify for that. With regard to the permits and getting that, that's, as administrator stated, that's just amending our ordinances to include them as those that would be exempt.
They are, a service to the community second to none. And if we could at least give them the same, bennies that we give to the other volunteers, that would be great. So maybe.
It's the desire of the council.
Mary, are you
Consensus, we
making a
can-
motion?
Oh, yes, as long as it's legal, yes. If the LoSAP can too, because the LoSAP's a big thing.
Is there a
If I could
second?
recommend, when you make your motion for the fees and permit fees and the LoSAP, we could look into it and see if that's legal, and that could be handled separately.
So moved.
Jessica?
Novak,
Yes.
Alka. Parisi,
Yes.
Roberts,
Yes.
Sinarski.
Yes.
Bobrowski.
While I was sitting here, I got a text from a resident of the town who had previously reported to me about Cheesequake Road, the bend in Cheesequake Road. And he was just almost hit tonight. So he wanted me to bring this up. Is there anything that we can do with that curve? Whether it's put a stop sign in there, because people, they're going 45 on Cheesequake and they're supposed to be going 25 on North Minisink, and they take that turn on two wheels. What can we do to help?
Last meeting, I was asked to make sure that we had hash marks installed on the curve. Road department's on it. I believe they had to order the signs, but that was ordered 2 weeks ago to get done. So if they're not in yet, they will be in shortly.
Signs,
Indicating the curve in the road, there seems to be people are used to stopping
Yeah.
coming from Cheesequake on the Minisink. And we've ordered the signage and it's just not been put in yet.
if that doesn't work, can we consider just a plain old stop sign at the end of, South Minisink, just so that people aren't going around that curve?
I
so
would
fast?
defer to Jay, but I think based on the construction of the road, it's no longer that type of an intersection.
That's correct. That's not a typical stop intersection. You may want to also, coming from Bordentown Avenue toward Minisink, have some signs telling people to start to slow down, because it's not 45 through the curb.
Yeah, I
You're
know.
supposed to be slowing down to
People don't.
25 as you do that.
Well, the main problem there is the people crossing over into the other
Yes,
lane.
well, that's exactly, he said he was
Oh.
almost hit by a car crossing over because they're going too fast. Will
I
they,
think even at a
Let's
slow
stick with
speed,
the
they still go
arrows.
over the line.
lay something, say something like, 15-mile-an-hour curve ahead? I know technically that's not,
I'll get the recommended speed from Jay and we'll add that sign as well.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Now I have a couple of my oldies but a goodies. I would like to make a motion to designate our firehouse an official historic site.
Second,
Second.
roll call.
Novak,
Yes.
Balca,
Yes.
Parisi,
No, not yet.
Roberts,
No.
Sinarski,
No.
Dabrowski.
No.
Can I just ask one question? If not now, when? What's it's been said before, not yet. Is there a specific date and time? Is there something that will trigger it? I'm not saying specifically a date, but something that's happening. We get to a certain point and it will trigger it, or just not yet? Okay. Another oldie but a goodie. I know we voted down having the referendum. I'd like to make the motion that we just go out of our way to directly buy that property in Kennedy Park. No second?
Second.
Novak,
Yes.
Balca,
Yes.
Parisi,
No.
Roberts,
No, and before we move forward, one of the things that we had put forth today was the ERI Environmental Resource Inventory, because one of the things I find frustrating sitting here is we talk about a single piece of property each time when we have an inventory of other properties that may or may not be weighed better or worse against that. And before we go to talk about a specific property, I'd like to have a full picture of what our opportunities are, what our challenges are, and what we can do. So that is going to be one of the considerations when the inventory is done, I'm sure. And if it is available for sale, we can look into it at that point. But I'd like to have a full inventory so that we can prioritize what we are going to look at. And we haven't had this in Saraville. I don't understand why we hadn't before, but we're going to have it shortly. And I think that's going to be a very valuable tool to make better informed decisions. So at this point, my vote is no.
Sinarski,
At this point, my vote's no also, but I just don't have a good solid estimate on what this property value is. I'm hearing all kind of estimates on it. We need a professional appraisal for me to vote on this. So my vote now, no.
Dabrowski,
No, I agree with the sentiment of Stash and Donna. At this stage, I don't know who we'd be negotiating with. We don't have an identifiable seller. From my understanding, the property owner has said no when we've initiated that. So I don't necessarily believe that that's a good starting point for the borough, if in fact we don't have a seller that's willing.
I know it didn't pass. I'd just like to say the reason why I'm so intent on this. First of all, I've been voting to try to buy this since 2023, I think was first came up. But it's the one that is in most in danger of being developed. And that's why it's, a top priority for me. Thank you.
Is that all?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilman Sinarski, Water, Sewer, and Environmental.
Thank you, Council President Roberts. The first thing I want to thank everybody for the 9/11 service yesterday. Thank everybody that attended, everybody that makes it happen. It was a very emotional, sensitive day for me. I read a nice letter about it. And like I said, I was see it in my mind from where I worked, the second tower falling. And I could just keep repeating that constantly. So it was very touching. We go every year, but this year was worse than, it's more touching for me. Go back to water and sewer. We have Melrose section, Oak Street, new water lines going in. So there's going to be low water pressure in that whole area. There's going to be some discoloration in that area. There's going to be some residents at numbers 197, 208, 220, 236, 242, and 252 that are going to be experiencing zero water for the hours 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. on September 9th. So it's going to influence them a little bit. So I just want to make sure everybody in that area knows that there is going to be construction of the new water line going through there. Other than that, we are still in a drought situation. We had 15 days and no rain, and the rain we got over the weekend came by through so fast that the water's just going away. It's not sinking, having a soaking effect going into the ground. So that's another issue that we have. As far as the community garden goes, that is really, really going good. And believe it or not, they gave over 100 pounds to several senior citizens at the Adaptive Adult Center, 100 pounds of fresh produce that they gave. There's a lot of things going on there. They got all the plots full. There's a lot of people there daily, and I keep repeating, stop in there, go talk to the people. They're really enjoying it, and it's really flourishing pretty good. They also had one squash that came in the high rankings as far as the fair that we have on Cranberry Road, the Middlesex County Fair. Yeah, one of their squash came up first, second. I don't remember the number, but they did very good. So I want to thank everybody that puts their time in there to make that fly too. All right, that's the end of my report. Thank you.
Donna, can I say something real quick? You mentioned the community garden. Those people that are in there doing this community garden, they are the nicest people. I was bringing a full tank of propane to the hot dog cart, and the people that were in there was a young compared to me, woman that was in there, and she helped me carry this propane tank from all the way over there. So I never got her name. But if you're listening to this, I want to say thank you very much. At first, they said, no, I don't need your help. And then I realized I'm 72. I could use the help. I got to stop saying no. I'm not getting any younger. But I just wanted to say that. Thank you.
I have one more comment from Mary. When you were mentioning the recycling earlier, you talked about the cardboard being put into the can, and you told that people could take it to the recycling center.
Yes.
I think it's only open on Mondays and Fridays and Saturdays. I don't think it's open every day during the week.
No? Okay, I'm sorry. Thank you.
I just wanted to correct that. It's open, I believe, from 8 to 1.
Okay.
Monday and Friday and Saturday.
Thank you.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, thank you for that. I just have a couple of things. The first thing is we had a second meeting with GoNet Speed. Eloy, you were on that call representing the Board of Ed. I think that was very productive, and I'm looking forward to them coming into our town and being productive and offering an alternative. So things are going well with that. The garden, the Eagle Scouts also had a project at the garden where they have composting and the sign. So they have a nice sign for the community sign outside of the garden, which is lovely. And on the back table, I did make a few copies of a variety of events that are coming up. This is a very, very busy time of year. So you'll see at the back table, you'll see a flyer like this. The other side has one left. So some of the things that are going on have already been mentioned, but I'm going to talk about them again. We have fall events. September 20th, Blast from the Past Car Show. September 21st, Cerevel Day. September 26th is the new day for grill and game day pre-game barbecue at Burks Park. October 4th, Hit the Bricks Trail Run 5K. October 9th, the Bomber Bonfire. That's going to be here, 7 p.m., October 9th, War Memorial Park. We have a new event, the Festival of Lights on October 12th, and Halloween Trunk or Treat, October 24th. But wait, there's more. We have the Hawaiian Luau, which is now rescheduled for September 12th at Kennedy Park. The one I'm looking forward to, Latin Salsa Night, September 18th at Kennedy Park. And what was mentioned by Councilman Zabrowski, Halloween Scare Trail, Beetlejuice Night, October 18th at Burks Park. All the rest I think I've talked about already. So grab a sheet from the back. I will see you at some of those events. We've got a lot of wonderful things going on. That is the end of my report. So now on to general discussion items, admin and finance.
Yep, public safety. Coin
Public safety.
toss for the corner of Washington and Ernston Road, received from the Saraville Blue River Dogs on September 28th, 2025. Request to travel received from the following: Engine Company to take Utility 7 to Glen Burnie, Maryland to take equipment for repairs. Authorization for the Borough Clerk to advertise for the receipt of sealed bids for abandoned and unclaimed motor vehicles. Request received to hold a block party on Fabajeski Way cul-de-sac on September 14th from 1 PM to 6 PM. And authorization for St. Stan's School to use the portable stage for their annual car show on October 26th.
Thank you. Business Administrator.
Progress, Council President.
Thank you. CFO.
Thank you. Progress as well.
Okay. Borough Engineer.
Thank you. 3 items this evening. The first is the Arsenal Trade Center. The public improvements have been completed. We're recommending that the bonds be released for that project, subject to posting of a 2-year maintenance bond. So you need a resolution to do that. The next 2 items are bids that are scheduled to be received tomorrow. One is for the improvements to Oak Street. The second is the Borough Hall Annex, the old firehouse, environmental remediation. If everything's in order, looking for a resolution to awarding those contracts at your next meeting. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Borough
Yes, I have
Attorney.
a question. Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Excuse me, I got one question on public safety. The coin toss on the corner of Washington and Ernston Road for the SBC River Dogs. What, excuse me, what is that?
Traveling baseball team.
Several Blue Bombers.
Okay, all right. I just didn't, I know, never heard of it.
River Dogs, yeah, that's their traveling baseball team.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Borough Attorney, please.
Thank you. I have nothing to report this evening.
Okay, I will take a motion to open. No, just open. All right, I will open to the public. Does anyone in the public wish to make comments? You'll come over. Please state your name and address for the record.
Hi, good evening. My name is Alberto Rios, 196 Washington Road. Good evening, council members and fellow residents. I'm here tonight because I love this town and because I believe we are on the verge of making a serious mistake that could permanently damage both our environment and our community. I'm talking about the proposed development of over 250 apartments on the 40 acres behind Kennedy Park. This land is one of the last large open spaces left in our borough, used and loved by walkers, fishermen, families, wildlife watchers, and countless residents who enjoy the peace and nature it provides. And once it's gone forever. But beyond the emotional environmental loss, let's talk facts. This property was appraised at $590,000 just a few years ago. Yet, when the topic of acquisition comes up, suddenly that appraisal is forgotten. Instead, we hear the mayor and even council members compare it to buildable residential land, artificially inflating the price in residents' minds. Why? To make it seem like saving this land is financially impossible. That's misleading and manipulative. When elected officials start talking like real estate agents for private developers, rather than advocate for the public interests, we have to stop and ask, who are you really working for? Let's also not forget, this development includes the bare minimum of affordable housing, over 250 units, and barely any meaningful effort to address our town's real housing needs. That's not smart growth. That's just growth for the sake of profit. We, the residents, are not blind. We see the traffic. We feel the overcrowded schools. We hear the chainsaws. And we are tired of our open spaces being sold off piece by piece while being told it's inevitable. It's not inevitable. You have the power to stop it. You have the power to preserve this land. And you have a responsibility to listen to the residents, not just developers. So tonight, I urge you, let's find a way to protect and acquire those 40 acres behind Kennedy Park before it's too late. Let's respect the appraisal, respect the community, and respect the future of Sayreville. I also wanted to address the, I know we talked about the elevator issue, but it's been broken for months, making it difficult, if not impossible, for residents with mobility issues to attend these meetings. Now, I know things happen. We're working on it. But in the past, people had to be physically helped up and down the stairs just to have their voices heard. In 2025, that's unacceptable. Meetings should be available, and meeting participation should be available via Zoom. We have the technology, both for residents and council members, in case, somebody can't make it. We can, Last meeting, 2 council members were absent during a critical executive session. They could have joined remotely, but the option wasn't provided. That's just not inconvenience. That's failure of transparency and inclusion. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rios. Anyone else from the public wish to speak? Mr. Robinson, please come up, state your name and address for the record. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. My name is Jim Robinson. I live in Parlin. Politics aside, I'm glad to see you sitting in that seat. You know how I feel that we need more women in important positions in government. Although I will say this, I did raise my hand to speak during the other public portion. Maybe you didn't see me. I hope that wasn't intentional. I did want to speak on 211, the affordable housing resolution. I agree there are issues with that affordable housing law that needs improvement. That law, I think, was sponsored and advocated by two good friends of the mayor. The mayor said they are friends of Sayreville. He supports them. They're doing great things for Sayreville. I agree they are great legislators and who deserve our support, and I assume you would agree that as well. But that law can be improved. But I just want to put a couple things in perspective. That new affordable housing law requires us to provide roughly about, John can correct me on the number, about 300 affordable units over the next 10 years. 300 units over 10 years. In 2018, the mayor agreed to settle a suit he caused because he told the planning board not to provide any affordable housing for the 20 years prior, and he agreed to build 785 affordable units, not over 10 years, but now. We're building them now. Main Street, Costa Verde, and, well, we'll see when the others are built. So frankly, the units we have to provide under the new law is better than what the mayor agreed to in 2018. He voluntarily agreed to that 785 as opposed to the 300 that we now have to build over 10 years. And ironically, if Mako's 40 acres had been preserved, if that 40 acres had been taken out of the formula, it had been preserved as open space, it wouldn't be able to be counted in the inventory. That 300 number would be less or lower than it is. So let's put things in perspective. While I agree that law has to be improved, as all laws do, we just ought to know what the facts are and what Mayor O'Brien got us into. More than twice as many units he agreed to. I will say this, and I don't know, Joe, if you did that, but it's an excellent resolution, very well written, and I agree with everything there. And let me just, as long as I brought up the Mako 40 acres, that I agree with Mrs. Novak, Mr. Balka, and Mr. Rios, who said we ought to buy that property. Let me just say that, and you talked, Donna asked for $15,000 for a list of properties. We have an open space inventory, a priority list that the Open Space Committee has put together. I think it was, well, it's got to be updated because I'll tell you what items number 1, items number 2, and items number 3 are. Item number 1 is the Mako property on Main Street where we're building 1.7. This is the one that the borough attorney's law firm represented Mr. Mako on, 1.7 million square feet of warehousing. That's number 1 on the open space priority list. Number 2 on the open space priority list is what they call the NL site behind Costa Verde, where we're building a few hundred 3-bedroom condominiums. Number 3 on the open space inventory that the Open Space Committee worked on, was headed by the tax assessor, Joe Kupch, is Mako's 40 acres behind Kennedy Park. So I wish you well with your $15,000 study, but we already have that and we're ignoring it, and you shouldn't be ignoring it. I'm not going to go on to talk about Crab Island because thanks to the efforts of some of the people here that has been pulled. I was glad to hear Councilman Balka bring up that situation about, is it going to be redeveloped or is it going to be affordable housing over there by the mini mall? It can't be both. And you're trying to pull a fast one here. And the people realize what's going on. The people realize what's going on. I've asked a couple times if we could be updated on the NL suit, the PFAS chemicals. You know, there was a settlement. We had our own attorney. We haven't heard anything
Thank
from
you,
the
Mr.
town,
Robinson.
and we deserve to know if and where those PFAS chemicals are.
Thank you, Mr.
And
Robinson.
are they at the first aid squad? Are they at the property on Cheesequake Road where the bus depot is going to be
Is
built?
there anyone else in the
Where-
public?
Where are they? Thank you.
Is there anyone else in the public who would like to speak? Mr. Olszewski, please step up, state your name and address for the record.
Thank you. My name is Ken Olszewski. I'm from Sayreville. I want to talk about the appraisal on this 40-acre piece of property, and I want to thank Councilwoman Novak and Councilman Balka for their attempt to get a purchase on this. I want to talk about the appraisal of this property. We went out for an appraisal, and we secured an appraisal. And all I've heard over the last months is bad-mouthing this appraisal. I'm sorry the mayor's not here tonight because he was the champion of bad-mouthing it. And I'm not sure what kind of experience the mayor has in real estate or real estate appraisals. I know he's very experienced in being a beach bum in California for years, and I know he was a butcher. But I don't know of any experience he has tonight. I wanted to ask him directly. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he does. Councilman Sinarski, I think tonight said we need another appraisal. He's been a guy that's been quite forward on bad-mouthing this appraisal also. And what is the issue here? Have we paid for an appraisal here? Yes. Have we paid for this appraisal? Have the taxpayers paid for the appraisal we have? The answer is yes. Business administrator?
Yes.
Okay. Next question. Have we contacted the company and said we don't like the appraisal and questioned the appraisal?
My knowledge, no.
Okay, so we have not, we paid for the appraisal. We haven't contacted the company. Have we withheld any payment or asked for a refund on the appraisal?
No.
Haven't heard from anybody, so I would assume the answer to that is no. So therefore, I would have to assume that this deal on the appraisal is just political rhetoric. It's not sincere. Who in the world goes out and buys something and badmouths that what the purchase or what happened or the service and has done nothing about it but badmouth it? That's just political rhetoric. You're trying to fool the taxpayers of this town, number one, who paid for that appraisal. And you're trying to muffle things. I think the councilman here said we need another appraisal. How many appraisals do we want on this? Let me ask you, do we continue to get appraisals until we like something that totally puts this out of the picture for us to buy it? Is that what we're looking for? Talk about phony. I haven't seen anything in a long time as phony as this rhetoric on the appraisal. It means we're looking for an excuse. We're probably looking for an excuse. Naturally, somebody said, well, they don't want to sell it. Naturally, when you go and tell them that you're going to be able to put 250 housing units or whatever it is there, no, they don't want to sell it. It's not zoned for that. It isn't zoned for that. This sounds like another sweetheart deal for a developer, and we've had a lot of them. As Mr. Robinson just talked about, the affordable housing. Yeah, the mayor, for 20 years, he sat here with his planning board and did no affordable housing. And he said at a meeting, a couple meetings ago, he said, oh, because the public didn't want it. Excuse me, the public didn't want it? I think he meant his friends, the developers, didn't want it. Because I think for Kennedy O'Brien and some of the people sitting here, the best friends of the developers sit right up here. And the people who are left behind are the residents of this town. Yes, and what happened? Those same developers who didn't build the affordable housing, guess what? They joined the lawsuit against the borough saying we don't have enough affordable housing. You want to talk about rubbing it in the nose of the taxpayers of this town? And as you ride through town, I think Mr. Robinson mentioned them, whether it's the Melrose mess that's going on, whether it's the other sites, everybody can see them. I'm not going to name them going up. If affordable housing law was upheld and the mayor did the right thing, we wouldn't have all this nonsense, or we wouldn't have it in the degree that we have it right now. So it's scam upon scam on the taxpayers of the town. And if people sit there and nobody wants to answer anything, you know why? Because we run a secret government. For the first time in the history of the borough since 1920, this governing body doesn't answer questions. You know why they don't answer them? Because it's secret, and they're ashamed to give the answers because it's a scam on the taxpayers of Sayreville. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Olszewski. Is there anyone else in the public who would like to speak? Seeing none,
I move the public portion be closed.
is there a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and if I may, just before we close the meeting, there were a couple of questions Mr. Olszewski had about the appraisal. We have an appraisal.
3.
Yes, we do.
We've paid for the appraisal.
We did.
That appraisal is a few years old now.
It is.
Yeah. I think we got it under Mayor Kilpatrick.
We did.
Okay. There's been an offer to purchase that property
We have contacted the property owner.
and the result of that contact.
The property owner has no interest in selling it to the borough.
Thank you. I'll take a motion to close the meeting.
Move to adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.